In a previous video, I explained that you could use one of these as a REM pod and convert it into something like this, or this with the little antenna. Now I will do a video on these when I get some antennas. The antennas have been ordered for the last couple of weeks and they're coming from China, so it's going to take a little while. Just a little demonstration on these. This is the telescopic version of it with a flashing light. You get these for less than, you get two of these for less than £6, and to convert one of these it's going to cost you less than £5. This here has a coil antenna and it works in a similar way. The reason why I have so much felt on this is because I intend to use it as a device that I can hold and carry around. So that is that. Now there is another version of the door handle of alarm which I thought I would try, and it was this one here. Now by the looks of it, this is solid metal. It actually is not, because it is plastic with some sort of metal foil. Now I converted one of these earlier and it's got a little bit more functionality to it. At the back here you've got sensitivity settings. Hold on till I just turn it on. Here at the side you've got chime and you've got alarm. Now when you switch this one on, this is a flash, the flashing light. You have to wait 30 seconds for it to calibrate itself. And once it does that, it's a completely different device. There, it's calibrated now. And once you come near it, the problem with this one in comparison to these ones is it takes 30 seconds to calibrate. So if you're using them as a REM device, it's not very good for dialogue mode. So but I thought I would try these out, and actually to convert one of these, what I done was, because telescopic antenna will not fit in this. The telescopic antenna is not going to fit in this because it's so small. But what I actually done was I got some, you know, this wire for it's curtain wire. I got this in the corner shop here. A roll of this corner wire. Now I have 3 of them. I already have done the first one, and cut a couple of lengths of these, the same length. I just need to add that when you're cutting your curtain wire, not to have the antenna too long, otherwise the device can become top heavy. So keep it around 6 or 7 inches long, and you get your door handle alarm. And what you need as well is a small screwdriver. Now this is all that you actually need. You don't need solders, nothing. First of all, take the screws out of the back here. Of course you can use these without modifying them, but I thought because this here is just a foil on plastic, I thought I would give it more sensitivity if I put a little antenna in it, which I'm going to make from the curtain wire. I have batteries in this, which I'm going to remove for a sec. This is going to take a couple of minutes just. Right, you got the two screws out, off comes the back. Now, there is your little circuit board, and there is your sensitivity ring that you hang on your door. Now, it's connected, as you can see, by one small wire that is soldered and screwed in with a screw, and the wire is actually soldered to just a washer. So what you do here is you remove the screws from each side, and actually you're not discarding these screws, you're actually using them again. So you don't need a soldering iron for this one. There is the other one coming off now on the other side, which means this is now removed and you don't need this. Now, what you're left with is the screw, the washer, and the wire that's soldered onto the washer. What you do then is you get your little length of curtain wire, and you basically screw it in to the bottom where you would normally put your curtain hook. Just screw it into the end, like so, and that tightens up nicely there. The other screw from the other side goes into the top here. It just it eliminates sharp ends when cutting, and that, it just makes it safer, and that you just screw that into the top. Right, when you put it in and just tuck it under the circuit board slightly, like that. You just place your back on, get your back screws, put them in, sorry, there's a little bit of a shadow there. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera, I'm just concentrating on this. So you don't have to have any experience with soldering or anything like that. So you're left with your little stubby antenna that kind of is flexible and that, and it's not going to get damaged. Put in your little AAA batteries, which is 3 of them. The other black alarms that I used use a 9-volt battery. The thing is about those other black devices is it doesn't need time to recalibrate. This one does. But I thought, you know, I did order these to see if I could modify them. They're not as good as the other one. The other thing is too, they are pretty loud. Even on chime, there's chime and there's alarm. So what I do is you get packs of these, and I got these in the supermarket. They're for putting on the bottom of chairs to protect wood floors and stuff. Take one of these off and just place it over your speaker. Put it on nice and evenly and press it down. That will muffle the sound a little bit, you know. So turn it on, it calibrates. Need 30 seconds. Now, as I says, they're not very good if you want to use them for dialogue mode, you know, asking the spirits, can you touch the REM pod again or anything like that, but it will detect, you know, because it takes so long to calibrate. And there we go. As it says, there's 3 settings. There's high, that's the low setting, and then there's no one with no sensitivity at all. What happens there is it when it calibrates, when it takes another 30 seconds to do, you have to actually physically touch the device to make it go off. The other 2 modes, like a REM device, would cause a field around it which you disturb. But when you have it switched off, you have to actually physically touch it. You know. So that is it, folks. Not as good a device as this one here, or this one here. This one needs a little bit of neatening up, but this was a kind of a prototype. I was experimenting, but I will do a video on this one when my antennas come in. But for sure. This one can be done very cheaply, you know. So, right, seeing that I have one of these door alarms left, I'm going to actually find out how long it's going to take me. I'm going to use one of these. This is the voice recorder, and I'm just going to record and press start and stop when I start and finish, and see how quick it will take me to do it. So now, take out the screws. Come on, come on, come on. Off with the back. That first. Unscrew the ring. Screw fell out of the washer, which doesn't help. Wasting time, wasting time, wasting time. Come on. Screw it into the bottom. Where's the other screw? The other screw, the other screw, quick. Right, I'll deal with that later. Put antenna on the circuit board slightly. Back on, screws in, back on, sticker on. The other screw is actually still in the thing. Come on. And screw it in to the top of stop. Because this hadn't got a timer on it, I recorded the exact same footage on this, and it's 3 minutes and 9 seconds. So now I've got 3. The question is, if this here can be used like a REM pod, but this can't be used in the same way because it needs 30 seconds to calibrate, what good is it? What can we use it for? Well, because of its small size, you can see the size comparisons. You can put these into trigger objects, you know, teddy bears, or you can put them into you know, a drinking glass or whatever, and you know, it makes it ideal because of the actual size. Now these are small, but these are even smaller and narrower. If you were to put them into a teddy bear, you could, you know, you could be creative. You could run a wire up through the whole teddy bear rather than just having this little antenna here. You could run a wire the whole way through the teddy bear and have it come out the top. So you could have more sensitivity that way, because when you do put these into objects, this, obviously the sensitivity is reduced. But if you could have a wire coming out of the teddy bear in some way, it'll work that way. But these can be used in you know, if you are using trigger objects on a location, you know. So that is that. I hope this was helpful. I know paranormal equipment can be pretty expensive, especially when you go through ghost hunting companies, which I think a lot of them rip us off. I have been scalded myself a couple of times, and you know, some of these door handle alarms have been sold by ghost companies for a lot of money, and you know, technically that cost me about £3 or £4, and you know, all including all the parts, it cost me about less than a fiver, you know. And this, when I calculated this up, this was definitely less than £5 to make, you know. So I will do a video on these ones here when the antennas come in. It is pretty easy. There's 5-10 minutes will do the job. So I will see you in the next video, folks.